Hey, what's up everyone? It's Ashley. Welcome to my channel. In today's video, I'm showing you how I tufted a Nike shoe design, but with a twist. The shoe itself keeps that clean, classic look, but the shoelaces, I made those out of a chunky yarn to give them that bold texture, slightly 3D feel. I'll walk you through exactly how I added the lace yarn and got them to stand out without taking away from the overall design. If you've been waiting to make your tufted pieces pop just a little more, this is a simple technique that makes a big difference. If you're new here, make sure you hit that subscribe button for more tufted videos and creative projects like this. All right, let's get into it. Okay, y'all, so this is the design I sketched onto the cloth. Of course, it's the Nike shoe, and I try to keep the design simple as possible. Right here is where I will be adding the chunky yarn so it can look like a shoelace coming out of the shoes. As y'all can see, I really made it dark right here because when you go to the front of the cloth, which I'm about to show y'all in a minute, when you go to the front of the cloth, you will see that I need this to show on the other side because I'm gonna glue it on that side. So let me show you. Okay, so this will be the front where you will see the tufting in the yarn or whatever. See how you can see the lines on this side? This is where the shoestring is gonna go. This is the front of the shoe. So I'm gonna glue the chunky yarn right here to make it look like shoestrings. Okay, so I'm gonna start with the color red, and I'm gonna tuft the red part, all the red parts of the shoe. First, I like to outline it first and then go in and fill it in. So that's what I'm about to do. All right, so this is how the rug is looking. And this is before I add the shoelace to the rug. And this is the front of the rug, by the way. And I know this is what y'all are waiting on. So let me show y'all the materials I will be using. Okay, so this will be the chunky yarn that I will be using for the shoelaces. I got this from Hobby Lobby. I will be using this yarn fluffer to like fluff up the yarn before I glue it to the rug or glue it to the tufting cloth. Also, I have my hot glue gun, and this is the hot glue that I will be using by Gorilla Glue. I will also be using this heat shrink tubing. I'll show y'all later what I'm gonna do with that, so just stay tuned. Also, if you made it this far into the video, please subscribe to my channel, like this video, share this video, and comment down below. All right, y'all, so I'm gonna try to do something that I never done before, which is carving or shaving some of the yarn down while it's still on the tufting cloth. I never done this before, and I just want to shave some of this down, like right up in here, because I think it'll be easier for me to add the yarn, the chunky yarn, if this yarn here is already shaved down. So I'm gonna try that, and hopefully I don't mess up. So let's see. Okay, y'all, now that I'm finished carving this part of the rug, as y'all can see, this is why I like to let the marker bleed through to the front so I can see exactly what I need to carve, where to stop, and where to, not to over carve it. So, and this is where I'm going to be laying the shoestrings. So first thing first, I get my shoestring, I measure. So, and we're going to cut it right there. But before I cut it, let's fluff. I'm going to be fluffing the, the yarn a little bit. Okay, so got my measure. I have my chunky yarn measured out, and this is how it's supposed to look. So let's glue. Okay, so for right here, I'm gonna go like this, but I'm trying to decide if I want to cut it right here or do I just want to keep going like this and gluing it. I think I'm gonna cut it right here. I feel like that looks better. And then once I cut it in the next one, I just cut going back that way. So I'm gonna cut it right here. Okay, so I know y'all see like this little space right here. I'm gonna cut a little piece of the chunky yarn and add it right there. And then I'm gonna try to glue this down a little bit more. Okay, for this piece, I think I'm gonna have it, I'm not gonna cut it until I get to here. So I'm just gonna measure it out. So it looks good enough for me. Okay, y'all, so I'm just trying to figure out how long do I want it. This is the bottom of the shoe. I don't want to hit it to, I don't want the shoestring to hit here. So I'm gonna cut it right there. Now I'm gonna add this this heat shrink, I can't talk. Now I'm gonna add this heat shrink tubing. This is what it looks like. The size that I have, or the size that I got, was the 1 inch through 1/4 inch, and it's 3 in a pack. And so you know how the end of the shoestring has that little white, I don't even know what it's called, but it'd be at the end of the shoestring, so your shoestrings won't unravel. But this is too long, so I'm gonna cut this in half. So with this little tubing thing, if you don't already know, you normally use this around like things that got wires. Like for example, your charger, the cord. If it's like have exposed wires, you can put this on the cord, heat it up with like a heating gun, or I'm gonna use a blow dryer, and it's supposed to shrink around the thing, around the cord. When I first did this, I tried to heat it while it was on here and it wouldn't shrink. So I'm gonna put it on this end of this little thing I use to thread my yarn through the tufting gun. I'm gonna put it on here, and I'm gonna use a blow dryer, and it's gonna shrink. Okay, y'all, so here's the little, whatever you call it, the little tube, the heat shrinking tube. Now I gotta get it through here. I put the, what is this thing called, y'all? The threading tool for the yarn. I put it through there. And then I take this and I try to get it to fit through the thing, y'all. It's gonna take some tugging. Hold on. There it is going through. Hold on. There you go, y'all. Just take a little bit of some strength. So I'll pull it down to here. And this is how it looks. Okay, so you may be wondering how I'm going to secure this. I'm going to be using some super glue, like Gorilla Glue. Can y'all see that? As well as a little bit of hot glue. So let me show you how I do it. So I just try to get the stick in there, like the end of the hot glue stick. Squeeze a little bit, and hopefully some did come out on my finger. Hold on, y'all, let me clean it up. And we're just gonna do that a couple of times. Stick it in there, squeeze. And then I'm gonna find another section I can do. I think this is a good section. I'm squeezing some in there. And hopefully that secures it. I'm gonna do one more section. Okay, so with the glue gun, I'm gonna just try to take a little bit and put some on the end of it, like that. Wait till it cool off a little bit, and then I kind of just do that. So this is how it looks. I don't know if y'all can see that. But this is how the end of it looks. So now I'm about to glue the back of the rug and clean up, and we done for today. Okay, y'all, so here is the rug. It has, I already did the backing on it, as well as like outline it with the twill. What I'm about to do is add a little more of the chunky yarn here, because you can still see some of the cloth. And even if I like, let's say if I added some glue right here and try to glue it down, you still can see the cloth right there. Like for example, right here, I'm just going to add a little bit of glue and stick this down, and you can't see the cloth. But like some areas, I need to add just a little more of the chunky yarn so you can't see the cloth. And that's what I'm about to do. All right, that's it for this piece. I hope this gives you a good idea of how to add chunky yarn as a shoelace and make certain parts of the tufting stand out without changing the whole design. It's a small detail, but it really brings the piece to life. If you enjoyed this video or learned something new, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. It really helps me out and lets me know you want to see more content like this. Let me know down in the comments what you want me to tuft next. And if you'll try this chunky lace technique yourself, I'd love to see it. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. Bye!